DeWanna Bonner in the hot seat after saying what she stated last night in her press conference, man. I can't lie, it does look like some hypocrisy going on.
DeWanna Bonner continues to take shots at the Indiana Fever and the Fever fans. I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Some people's audacity is truly unbelievable, but Dana Bonner just set a new standard for denial. In a shocking ESPN interview, she confidently said, "I wouldn't change a thing." This came after she took $200,000 from the Indiana Fever, collected checks for months, and then disappeared for 5 games, citing vague personal reasons only to quietly arrange her exit from the team. Now she's sitting in Phoenix, acting like the victim, as if she's the one who was wronged. It's honestly hard to believe.
Wouldn't do anything differently. I think my journey is my journey, and I'm going to accept that. It carried me to where I am in Phoenix, and it happened that way for a reason. I mean, really, that is a wild statement.
You stole that money from Indiana. You signed up for that bread and didn't deliver. You didn't show up for work. You made up bullcrap excuses to not be.
That level of arrogance is truly staggering, especially when you think back to how Fever fans embraced her wholeheartedly, treating her like a star from day one. Meanwhile, she was quietly plotting her exit behind the scenes. If you're just as shocked and disappointed as the rest of us, hit that like button and drop Investigate Bonner in the comments, because what we're about to reveal will break down exactly how this betrayal happened, step by step.
She came over here. She signed a max contract. She knew Phoenix didn't have the bread. She got 80 here and went and got the rest over there. I think it's trash.
I wouldn't do anything differently. You took 80 grand from the Indiana Fever. You could have just signed. Like, that's one of the things. Like, I don't understand why you take these interviews. I don't understand why someone would take an interview and say that, when the reality is that all you did was took a whole bunch of money from a team to not show up.
At this point, it's not even about basketball, it's about professionalism and basic respect. Fans spend their hard-earned money on tickets, jerseys, and unwavering support because they trust that players will show up and give their all. Bonner's time in Indy wasn't some heartfelt journey of growth. It was a calculated move for a paycheck, one that ended with both the franchise and its loyal supporters feeling misled and let down by someone they once believed.
You refused to show up to work while receiving money, while taking payment. You refused to show up and do the job. And let's be clear, you wasn't even good while you was here. You was shooting threes hitting the side of the backboard.
But this is definitely going to be a part of her history, man. Because the new wave is taking over. These new fans are watching. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to be a part of her history, unfortunately.
But here's where it gets even more frustrating. Once you start peeling back the layers and looking closely at how everything actually unfolded, a much bigger issue comes to light, one that points to how professional contracts are managed today and how some athletes have become far too comfortable avoiding accountability. Let's start with the most revealing piece of evidence: the massive gap between what Bonner promised and what she ultimately delivered after signing that high-paying deal.
This is DeWanna Bonner. I wouldn't do anything differently. I think my journey is my journey. I'm going to accept that. It carried me to where I am now in Phoenix, and it happened that way for a reason. It didn't happen that way for a reason. You forced yourself out of Indiana, DeWanna.
We're talking about a veteran who averaged a disappointing 7.1 points per game while missing shots and moving on the court like effort didn't matter. This wasn't someone fighting to rediscover their rhythm. This was someone coasting, biding time, and waiting for the right moment to walk away. She started just 3 of the 9 games she actually showed up for, which says everything about her impact or lack thereof. The numbers don't lie. Her 3.8 rebounds and 1.6 assists per game were underwhelming, more in line with a bench player than a seasoned free agent brought in to offer leadership and stability to a young, ambitious team. She wasn't just was practically invisible.
I just don't understand this. I don't understand why DeWanna Bonner is taking these interviews at this point in time. Because I'm like, look, you're in Phoenix. You've got what you wanted. You've got what everyone expected you wanted all along. Everything's gone your way. Indiana haters are going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. They're going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. Phoenix Mercury fans are going to love you. Rival fans are going to love you because you basically screwed over the Fever. Fever fans are going to hate you because you screwed over the Fever.
And yet, even with the underwhelming performances, Fever fans remained patient. They held out hope that she'd bounce back. They gave her the benefit of the doubt, believing she just needed time. But instead of using that support as motivation, Bonner seemingly decided it wasn't worth the effort. So, she stopped trying. The Fever front office had built their roster and structured their salary cap around the belief that she'd be a core contributor. In return, she disappeared the moment things didn't go her way. It was a calculated move, one that sets a dangerous precedent for the rest of the league. If you don't like your role, just dial down the effort until you get what you want. And here's the part that really stings for every Indiana Fever fan who's been watching closely. The moment Bonner suited up for the Phoenix Mercury, she instantly transformed into the player everyone expected in Indy. Suddenly, she's dropping 22 points and 11 rebounds in just her second game with her new team, like flipping a switch. Funny how that works.
First of all, the fans are the victim. The organization was the victim here. Like, why are we sitting here, she up in these articles like she was a victim, like she did, like something was done wrong? No, the fans are a victim. They welcome you with open arms. They embraced you, and you turned your back and you quit. It's that simple. You quit. You refused to show up to work. You wasn't hurt. You wasn't sick. It wasn't a personal no, you just didn't want to be on the team.
This isn't about adjusting to a new system or needing time to find her rhythm. This is clear evidence that Bonner was intentionally holding back during her time in Indiana. The passion, the energy, the effort, it was always there. She simply chose not to show it until she landed exactly where she wanted to be, playing alongside her fiancée, Alyssa Thomas, in Phoenix. That sudden spike in performance isn't just suspicious, it's telling. Even casual fans could see it for what it was. Her breakout game in Phoenix wasn't a comeback, it was a confession. She had the ability to help the Fever all along. She just chose not to.
You came here, you stunk it up, and then you got benched. Just because you was okay with coming off the bench in another situation don't mean you was okay with coming off the bench in this situation. So I want to know what's the real? What's the real? Because you can't say while you was here, you said, oh, I've never played in front of this many fans. You were embraced by the fans. You spoke highly of the fans while you were here. You were a starter, but you wasn't playing well. And that was nobody else's fault that you was shooting threes hitting the side of the backboard and you was smoking layups. And then your starting spot got took, and then all of a sudden you refused to show up.
When you compare her stats in Indiana to her sudden surge in Phoenix, it's like looking at two completely different players. And that's exactly what happens when someone finally decides to give real effort after months of going through the motions. It's manipulation, plain and simple. It reflects a troubling level of entitlement, where a professional athlete uses their platform to play games while the fans who supported them are left disappointed and disrespected. What's even more outrageous is that Bonner is now pretending she gave it her all in Indiana. She's standing there acting like she didn't check out on a franchise and let down an entire city. Meanwhile, Phoenix fans are celebrating like she just bounced back from a slump, ignoring the fact that they're reaping the rewards of someone else's letdown. This isn't just about one standout game. It's about the precedent. It sets a dangerous message that players can dodge accountability and face no real consequences. And what makes it sting even more is remembering how she arrived in Indiana. She talked a big game, embraced the fan base, and made it seem like she was ready to build something meaningful. There were no early signs of discontent, no hints of frustration. She played the part perfectly, smiling for the cameras and saying all the right things.
And if we gonna keep it real, Chloe Bibby, the new 7-day signee, has fit in and played better than DeWanna Bonner did anyway. Let's be clear here. Chloe Bibby came in first game, knocked down 2 threes. DeWanna Bonner first game versus the gum on the bottom of the shoe, Chicago Sky. We had to jump through hoops of fire and do all types of abracadabra magic tricks to get her to finally score to break.
Bonner once spoke passionately about the incredible fan support in Indianapolis, saying she had never experienced anything like it. She seemed genuinely touched by the packed arenas, the sea of Fever jerseys, and the unwavering loyalty of Indiana's fans. She talked about her excitement to compete for a championship and her eagerness to mentor young stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston as they transitioned into the pro game. These weren't throwaway media quotes, these were heartfelt declarations of loyalty to a city and franchise that embraced her completely. And that's exactly what makes this betrayal feel so personal to the fans. People bought her jersey. They shared her story. They defended her when her performance didn't reflect her paycheck. Indiana fans gave her grace, saying she just needed time to build chemistry or adjust to the system. They held on to her rare moments of brilliance, labeled her the veteran leader, and kept hoping she'd turn the corner. To now learn that she may have been planning her exit from the very start, it feels like an emotional scam. The love from the fans was real, but her commitment clearly wasn't.
Here's a quote from DeWanna Bonner. I have no problem coming off the bench. I have never been that player. I don't feel like I have that reputation. Now, fair enough. You have won 6th Woman of the Year, respectfully. But that don't mean that's what you thought you were walking into. I believe you thought you was coming here to be a veteran leader, an OG, and a starter. She came here as a starter, was stinking it up, got injured, and Lexi Hall stepped in, and Lexi Hall should have been the starter from day one. DeWanna Bonner should have never been a starter in an Indiana Fever uniform. That's a fact.
The way that Caitlin Clark wants to play, which of course is the way that the Fever plays, that she is their nucleus, they want to push the ball down the court. They want to be quick. They want to be fast moving. At 37 years old, that style of play might not fit DeWanna Bonner very well. Like, that just doesn't highlight her strength. So I think it's probably a combination of style of play reasons, personal reasons, and yeah, like you said, at this point, she probably wants to win basketball games, make a little bit of money in the process.
Lexi Hall's success and continued success in the system with Caitlin from last year, I think, was the big reason that DeWanna Bonner was moved to the bench at all and kind of trying to figure that out. When I went back through last week, just kind of like pouring over all of these press conferences and like public comments and like my interviews that I had done in Indiana, the thing that stuck out to me was the first day, I think, of training camp, DeWanna Bonner had mentioned like she had to catch her breath because these guys are fast.
Yeah.
It looked like you was mad that Lexi Hall took the starting.
I figure out everything's changed with add pieces, and pieces come in where you just shot as long as the game before you probably won't get that same shot. And I'm just trying to figure out where you fit on this team. It's going to take us a little bit of time to gel, so just be patient. It's going to be okay.
It's going to take us a little bit of time to gel. Just be patient. Oh, man. Bonner. But, man, it is crazy to hear her say that. It is crazy, y'all. I can't hold you. The fact that now she's more so of understanding it's going to take some time to find your footing. It's, you have to be patient. Man, that's tough, Bonner. That's tough. Coming from somebody that literally gave up. You gave up on Indiana Fever, man. You should have gave it some time.